This week in the NFL.
This week in the NFL featured two startling upsets of major proportions. The New Orleans Saints stunned the Century Division leaders, the Minnesota Vikings, but that victory paled before the Falcons' triumph over the New York Giants. Cruising confidently through the easy part of his schedule, Giant head coach Allie Sherman hoped his team could escape without a loss until they met their first stern test, the Baltimore Colts in the NFL's 8th week. But a look ahead is fatal in pro football. Atlanta caught the Giants stale and overconfident and beat them. For head coach Norm Van Brocklin, the Falcons' first win of the year brought him not only victory, but a certain measure of revenge. Before coming to Atlanta, Norm Van Brocklin had been the head coach of the Vikings, and his quarterback in those days was Fran Tarkenton. For 6 years, Van Brocklin tried without success to transform Tarkenton from a scrambler to a drop-back quarterback. Every time Tarkenton ran, Van Brocklin exploded, and after a long period of mutual disaffection, Tarkenton was traded to the New York Giants, and Van Brocklin resigned. Now, meeting for the first time in a head-on clash of styles and temperament, Van Brocklin won, and the play that ultimately decided the outcome came on a scramble. In the first quarter, the Falcons took an early 7-0 lead on Cannonball Butler's 7-yard burst off tackle. But the Giants thundered right back as Tarkenton, off a play-action fake, threw a strike to Homer Jones, the greatest home run hitter of them all, and the Giants had tied the game. Tight end Aaron Thomas, number 88, personally accounted for the second Giant touchdown. After running around the Falcons on a reverse, Thomas collected Tarkenton's pass and sprinted 28 unmolested yards to a 14-7 Giant lead. A grimmer aspect than the Giant touchdown for Atlanta was the loss of starting quarterback Randy Johnson with a leg injury. But the Falcons reacted as if they had championship depth at every position. And Bob Berry, who was Tarkenton's understudy at Minnesota, directed them to a touchdown that tied the score at 14 at halftime. The Giants fumbled their way through a disastrous third quarter that saw one of their errors turned into a Falcon score. The Giants' defense played with unaccustomed ferocity and blasted Falcon receivers from all angles. But on this day, Atlanta never made that one big mistake that separates winners from losers. A 17-yard field goal by Bob Etter made the score Atlanta 17, New York 14 at the end of 3 periods. The Falcons' advantage soon became a memory as Tarkenton, on a sprint out to his left, found Homer Jones for a touchdown. New York regained the lead 21-17. For the Falcons, their masquerade as winners was over. It was that time again when the pressure became too much to bear. Or was it? Jerry Simmons, number 44, didn't think so, and neither did the rest of the Falcons. Before the Giants could savor their slim 4-point lead, Perry Lee Dunn had smashed over from the 1 to take it away from them. With almost 6 minutes remaining in the last quarter, Tarkenton had time to keep the Giants' record unblemished. By mixing the runs of Tucker Fredrickson, number 24, and some incredible catches by Homer Jones, he brought the Giants to the Falcon 13-yard line with 1:47 remaining. It was to be a 3rd and 1 situation, and it was to be a scramble that decided the game. Tarkenton rolled to his left. Would he run or pass? Number 55, Ralph Heck, gave Fran one alternative, and it was a bad one as Lee Callan intercepted his pass to ensure Atlanta's first victory of the season. A moment of triumph, a time for exultation, a measure of satisfaction for Van Brocklin, who saw the scramble, a weapon he feared as much as he hated, fail when it counted the most. The Van Fran vendetta was over. In the end, it could take only a distant second place to a team victory that might lift the Falcons from a team with no direction to one of purpose and hope.